Oh, you need to listen about this because this topic is so important nowadays, and people don't really know why a lot of people are so nice. Of course, there are a lot of people who are nice just because of their pure personality, pure intentions, just empathy. They want to good for others. But nowadays, there is this popular syndrome that a lot of people have, and this is called nice guy syndrome, people pleaser. What is this? What are the core roots of this symptom? Why this is destroying people's lives? Okay, in some situations I think that all people have sometimes nice guy behaviors. This is behaviors in which our courtesy is not authentic, we need to fake it, and in some way we are trying to please the other person. But there are people who are, let's label it as nice people, nice guys, and these kind of people are trying to please people in a lot of situations in which they are not genuinely feeling that they should show this niceness, this courtesy, this politeness to other people. In situations when they feel in their guts that they should stand for themselves, but they are not doing it and they are pleasing them. This is coming from our unsatisfied needs in our childhood, in situations where we were excluded in some situation for whatever reason, for what we said, for what we did, maybe for our status in kindergarten. In many situations it may occur that we are excluded. And what is happening when we are excluded? Wait a second, we have two strongest fears in our life. Okay, this is some kind of generalization, but I need to say this. First is fear of death, and second is fear of social exclusion. And this fear of death is kind of rational because we want to live our life to the fullest and we want to use it in the best way possible, not to waste our years of life. But in terms of exclusion, our ancestors, when somebody was excluded, it was risk of death. So in some way, these two fears are connected. If you can be excluded from a group of people, from society, it's for our monkey brain, for our subconsciousness, it's very dangerous. So we are afraid of actually displeasing people and, standing for our opinion. Not in every cases, but in some cases, when we feel that other people have authority over us, and that if we will get excluded, we will feel this strong sensation that we experienced in the past, and we are afraid, and we don't want to face our strong emotions. So what we are basically doing, we are trying to please everyone, regardless of whether it's good or not. Because in some situations, I think that people pleasing is okay, but the problem is when we are getting this out of control, and we are pleasing others in a lot of situations, and it's hurting us inside. Because in some situations we need to put some mask on in order to get most of situation, in order to when we know that we are in a situation when other people will regardless of the situation win, so we need to get through this. But what happens the sad truth, as I said, is that people who are people pleasers need to heal it, and they need to acknowledge it. As I said, this nice guy, this nice person, people pleaser, are just labels. But what you need to do is to honestly acknowledge when you see these kind of behaviors in yourself, either when it's occurred, either if it's occurring sometimes or in many situations, in everyday situations. But you need to acknowledge it, because in this way you can get deeper self-awareness about yourself and understand that there is something wrong, that you're not standing up for yourself in situations when you need to do this, and you're avoiding this. You are avoiding this exclusion. And if you're afraid of exclusion, and you still are doing everything you can do to not get excluded, to get everyone around to like you, you're still going to fail, but you will turn yourself into clown, literally, because you will trying to please some people that won't like you regardless. irrespective of who you are or how good you are, because that's natural. If you're developing within yourself good personality traits, maybe status, money, etc., 90% of people will probably like you. Of course, it's a big generalization because there's over 8 billion people in the world. But if we're trying to get all people to like us and avoid this feeling of exclusion, of rejection, we all feel regardless. So what we need to do, of course, we need to acknowledge this, that we have nice person behaviors, you know what I'm saying by nice, and we need to expose ourselves to some kind of exclusion and observe our emotions. Notice situations from the past in which we were excluded, in which we get rejected, we didn't feel love from others. Because if you're staying your whole life with these feelings and you're constantly afraid of saying truth to the other person, you can even become people pleaser for your best friend. You will talk normally, but in a lot of situations you will be afraid to tell what your goods want to say without overthinking in your head. And that's enormous pain and suffering if you're constantly not being yourself, because you're filtering everything in your head and you cannot even speak directly from your heart. This is enormous pain. So this is the solution, as I said. I lost thread. I don't know what to say now, but okay. If you have these behaviors, observe it. Observe it. Expose yourself gradually. Understand this mechanism. Understand this deeply. Observe yourself whenever you want to say something from your guts, but there is a stop. There is this block, stop, limit. You need to filter it through your head, and later this version of what you wanted to primarily say is going to other people through this version nice, in order to not hurt others, because you're afraid that if you're even a little bit hurt others, this person will reject you and will not accept you, will not give you love. And love, this is what we need in our deepest core, in our heart. This is our innermost need to love, and we are afraid to not receive love. And this is the sad truth. You cannot stay with this, because if you're nice person, nice guy, if you're people pleaser, you're losing a lot of opportunities in your life, a lot. And I know that you're deeply suffering because you cannot stand up for yourself. You cannot tell directly from your guts what you think. You're constantly afraid of rejection. This is the sad truth. But the good news is that if you observed in yourself this nice guy behaviors, situations in which you're afraid to stand up for yourself, you can do something about this. Because once you know that you have this problem, you can solve it. And you can develop within yourself the skills that you need in order to become this person that doesn't give that much a damn about this exclusion. Because if you will be excluded, if you'll be rejected by one person, this will make you in some way stronger. And in next situation, this fear will diminish, and you will have more guts to go into social situations, meet new people, and be more yourself, rather than thinking constantly in your head what to say in order to not hurt this person, don't think about how this person perceives you, because you still know that it doesn't really matter, because people are not looking as rationally at you as you think for you, but they are looking more through the prism of emotions, how they feel around you, not that much rationally. So don't overthink that much. And that's the message for today's video. Bye bye.